Hey everybody, how are you? Quick sip of water, how's everything going? Yes, we are live with you. We are coming at you for the weekend that crypto is bringing, and we're going to be talking to you about an interesting theme that has emerged, that is very, very clear and is showing up. And I am watching your beautiful comments. Yes, all the smartest of comments in here. We like your interaction through the live chat. That's why we do these. Pop it in and I will be checking in with it. But what are we talking about? What are we talking about? 4 tokens in specific today. 4 tokens that we're definitely referring to is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yep, you know about those two. We tend to touch on them every time. And then the old, long forgotten and much maligned, but some people more so than others, Bitcoin Cash, which has been a mover, an absolute mover. And then also on top of that, the Litecoin as well. And why we have been in our community talking about the fact that Litecoin is about to have a surge coming soon, how that went down. Also, how in our premium community we were discussing in one of my morning updates that there is a 3 rising impulses in Bitcoin Cash, and I wonder if it's going to go higher and why that is. So, first of all, let's go have a look at some numbers and bring up the coin market cap that you're all used to. Somewhere up there, maybe it's there, I'm not sure which side I am. Coming or going? Let's have a look at the coin market cap. We're going to have a look at the 7-day performance. We've sorted the 7-day performance, and we're going to be looking at particularly the ones that have decent size market cap. We don't fanny about with the ones that have fallen from grace and have low market cap. Their number 2 in the 7-day performance at 63% is Bitcoin Cash. There is its lesser successful fork, Bitcoin SV. Haven't those stories with Craig Wright, he's the original Satoshi, he's the original, haven't those gone a little quiet recently? There's still a few diehards out there, I'm sure. Anyway, and then also Litecoin has been a little lively. So we're talking about the bigger market caps, those that are in the range of 25 to 1 in terms of market cap size. And that is very interesting and a very interesting size. And that has liquidity. You can get in, you can get out, you can get leverage, you can trade it on multiple different exchanges, you can trade it on Uniswap, you can trade it on centralized, decentralized, etc., etc., etc. We try to bring you useful things, not scams that can be pumped and then somebody else is dumping them on you who's already bought them and is trying to utilize his audience as exit liquidity. None of that is of relevance. So what's the story? Well, here's the interesting story. You'll see on the 7-day side, Bitcoin Cash is an outperformer. Then you will see Litecoin getting some love and Bitcoin SV getting some love. But why is Bitcoin Cash outperforming even those 3? Generally, in my personal assessment, it was the most successful of the fork tokens that came off of the original Bitcoin chain. I am not going to get into discussions about who's the original guy. They both were birthed from the same mother. Then they forked. They say they truer to the origin. The other side says Lightning Network on us. This is the right thing. This is the right thing. You can go and fight. The market has so far spoken that the fork coins, they are being considered the fork coins, Cash and SV, is less original than the originals. But who knows? You can discuss that in the comments and chats and share it with me. However, the SEC is the big news because the SEC has largely thrown its cloak over a whole bunch of tokens from ADA, which is Cardano, right the way through Matic and everyone, and said you are all largely securities. And it avoided Bitcoin and Ethereum. And Bitcoin and Ethereum have essentially inadvertently been tacitly approved by not being included in the bad boys list. That's why XRP got a relative overperformance, now underperforming, it has to be said, a relative overperformance period because it got joined on the naughty step. It was singled out, it missed a lot of the run of the bull market, and as a result, by having more people join it on the naughty step, it inadvertently had less of the pressure all on it. It was now being spread. But that overall theme of the SEC has still having its work through effects because by approving Bitcoin, which essentially is largely accepted, not being considered a security, hence there's an ETF, BlackRock's involvement, etc., etc. What that's actually done is that has gone and said, the fork coins of Bitcoin, which have essentially stemmed and birthed from the same uterus and mother. That's right. We're still in the world where women give birth to things and men don't. So the same mother, and as a result, what that did is it had a knock-on effect of some value to the copy coin of Bitcoin, Litecoin, looky-likey Litecoin, with a few features, and also to Bitcoin Cash and SV. However, Cash being the more successful, the bigger market cap, the money chases liquidity, the bigger block. You can drill down on the fundamentals. This is technical, and we will be going to the charts in a minute. But first, the story. I know kiddies like stories. Bedtime stories, please, sir. The narrative normally follows with us. We start in the charts, but that is the beginning of the story. So the 7-day news is outside of things that are at number 85 on the list. Real liquidity. Bitcoin Cash is actually done very, very well recently, and it was in mid-20s and possibly even lower, and has stormed to number 14. Now, let's see why. Let's get a little bit of those article news me nice, why that may be. So we go out here and we're going to get a little bit of the more news. So, why is it running? Well, you see, Citadel, the big criminals of global finance, along with BlackRock and the rest, they barely ever have a losing year. They literally are behind the dark pools. They do front running with electronic bots, so that, wow. Gainsler actually said recently, guys, that when you are trading an equity, and he's focusing on regulating the crypto market so strong like a boss, he actually admitted that in the equities market environment, 90 to 95% of orders submitted by retail people are all being met by liquidity providers and flows, and not entering into a bid and ask stack ladder price discovery mechanism. That means the big banks with their private pools are dumping and selling to you at the prices that they consider right, and there is backup secondary dark pools. Now, the whole concept of dark pools is absolutely criminal. There should be one central place where all the wealth and the whale of the money is directed through, and everybody democratically, well, I don't like that word, let's say equally given, depending whether you're an odd lot for 1 round lot or 1,000 lots. If you hit the enter button before them, you are in front of the queue if you both have the same price. And that ladder bids on the lower side to the very best bids, offers to the top side with the very lowest, should lead to the market discovery mechanism. What is happening is that there are black markets, dark pools with black markets where collections of banks decide what that current price is, and they are the liquidity providers, and they are providing and essentially making markets according to what they think and what they may occasionally trade or lay off with each other. It's almost like bookies deciding how much to bet on the World Cup rugby, let's say. It is coming this year, after all. What should people pay to bet for Ireland to win the World Cup rugby? So anyway, Citadel, in conjunction with Charles Schwab, let's see if this article is going to give us all the criminals. Charles Schwab, Citadel are setting up a securities-backed crypto exchange, and because they are the big dogs and they will not seek to antagonize the SEC, and they would have had a whisper in the ear, or certainly an advisory that would have said, you will not be falling foul if you list the following. Who did they list? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. These are the tokens that are perceived to be safe for this exchange that is now launching. Yesterday saw the highest volume of BCH transacted in a year, exceeding a staggering 750 million. Guess what? You get something that looks like Bitcoin, talks like Bitcoin, was part of the original origin and the original pipe up to the fork, can do most of what Bitcoin can do. Some will argue better, faster, bigger blocks, whatever the case may be. Doesn't have the Lightning Network on it, whether you think that's good or bad, and will be possibly cheaper, but you have to consider how's it performed relative to Bitcoin. Less good recently, got to be said, in terms of the charts, but suddenly now listed and got a security clearance from the SEC. Boom, a stamp. And the big criminals know that, they've got advice on that, and you actually have 4 tokens that are in the clear. And the most undervalued one of the Bitcoin forks has been Cash. So I will be showing you also the relative performance between Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash. And this is the reason why Bitcoin Cash has suddenly got a catch-up bid, bringing it storming back up into the top 15. Big volume as these guys have got involved and got in. The balance by time held indicator into the block provides a closer look at the dynamics. This development comes on the heels of a similar trend observed in Litecoin. It's the EDX listing. That is the name that is behind the overall exchange that the Citadel criminals and the rest of the cartel, including Charles Schwab, are involved in creating. So, is it time for us to have a look at these wee charts a little bit? So here we go. What time frame are we? We're on the 2 hour. Let's go to the daily and just show you what's been going on. Maybe even a weekly. So the bear market kept dragging poor old Bitcoin Cash down, from there all the way. A big slap in the face over there. This was in and around the 221 highs, so it did make 1700. I'm not sure that was an all-time high. I'm not sure I don't think it had a very good second half. This particular exchange doesn't have too much of its history. But it was actually 2017 that it forked. It hasn't made the same high that it did in the first 18, in 2017-18 high. And then this secondary run-up, it's got slammed, but then eventually a bit of a low. You see the hammers here, a bit of a low, hammers, wicks coming a lot, bit of support around the 100, not closing and holding below $100, it seems. Then you got essentially a W bottom, I would argue, kind of ish. Let's go fat cokey, zig, zag, and then break. So that is real volume is the key point. So it's time to bring in the volume into all of this. Histogram, that's his name. I can do it. Anybody can. Grab him, go to the volume, smash him, and we put him on, and you will see here that there has been a huge whale of volume. So typically, volatility irons out and goes low, and then suddenly volume returns with a bang, and so volatility explodes. They both start with vol. And they often go hand in hand, but they are totally different things. The schizophrenic nature of price, the sudden violence of moves versus very calm and sleepy moves versus the level of engagement of people as per their buying. So a wall of buying has started to come in for Bitcoin Cash as a potential trading entity. Let's have a look at some of your comments. What do you say? Did you smash the like button? We're here to tell you what we think is going to do well. I'm going to be pivoting in a minute to Litecoin. We were discussing this in the community. In fact, we had some draws. Let's see what dodgy draws I've got for you. We'll show you these in a little bit too. But this was yesterday. That was our community update, by the way. There we did it, and we were saying, by the way, is it time to start talking about Bitcoin Cash? We were watching it coming along, and then 5 hours later, a mega pump started to happen. It was already here, and then you get that blow-off pump, which is further gone overnight, and we had a lovely run into Litecoin. Let's have a look at that again. We got something else to show you. Let's show you here. So this is typically in this chart. This is a snapshot, by the way. It's not the live chart. This is typically the structure. We warn that can be very, very interesting. When you have a strong bull market, you get squeezing higher, so you're not got enough pressure. You're leaking a little bit out the top, so you don't have a flat top, you don't have a key level of significance, and you've got a lot of buying coming up. You get these 2, 3, and the third impulse, and then you've got a super squeeze of volatility. Hence why we are the people that are the low volatility to high volatility traders. We get interested typically there, and that was the point at which we were speaking around Bitcoin Cash. This is actually billions of market cap, so this is the market cap, it's not the price. And then you get that major blow-off move. These are ascending structures, rising wedges, similar to the Hunt Volatility Funnel method, which you can learn about, and you can find more about, and you can be with specialists that aim to do one damn thing. Focus on low volatility to high volatility, where you can utilize leverage. What a beautiful night it was last night. Litecoin killed it for me overnight. And of course, we had a triggering event. We'll be coming to that in a bit as we do this segment. But the theme currently is actually, and we're watching Total too, and those things move as well. The theme is predominantly, yes, there's some small coins that are absolutely zinging it, but the big market caps that are doing big moves. The Bitcoin Cash at 14, doing hundreds of percent over the last 7 days is what's moving Total 2. SV, Litecoin, those are the ones that are moving it. Not Joe Schmo that did 300% but is at 97 market cap. Yes, he's added in percentage terms a massive amount. Good luck getting margin trading. Good luck doing anything. You'll get token amounts, etc. involved there. So you can see this is our core zone. And we have continued to warn you that this is the bull market that no one wants to accept as a bull market. Not no one. There's some guys around that are accepting it as the bull market, but there's many that are not. So let's have a look at a couple of comments before we go into Litecoin and some of the other things we've discussed. I'm going to pivot in the meantime while I read comments so you can see that beautiful entry that was provided there as we were discussing it. This is a relative strength one of Bitcoin Cash versus Litecoin over the period. And you can see that they both had great 17, 18s. In fact, many forget that actually Bitcoin Cash for most of the time was ahead of Litecoin by market cap. The blue. So you're looking at the blue here for Bitcoin Cash. Most of this period into here, Bitcoin Cash was a big boss old token. And people forget about that. I remember interviewing Roger Ver in Acapulco, and all the maxis absolutely deciding they hated me because I gave a guy a chance to talk about his token and then make his case for his block. I would phone Mr. Bitcoin and ask him, but no one ever shows up, and I don't know who to call. So that's Maxidom for you. By the way, we will also look at the Bitcoin dominance, which is actually slowing down a little now. It's been the main theme, and we said the maxis will become intolerable during this period. We've said it for the last 6-9 months, and that's how it's been. The Bitcoin dominance has indeed run. But let's have a look at some of your questions. What about Sailor's MSTR, leveraged BTC play? I think just leverage BTC yourself. The problem with Sailor is you have a massive old business there that's probably not getting the same attention it used to because it's turned into a bad proxy for an ETF on Bitcoin that could start costing things, could have employees to lay off, could face all sorts of issues. If you want exposure to Bitcoin, how about buying Bitcoin? If you want leveraged exposure to Bitcoin, learn how to do it properly. Don't lever more than once, twice, 3 times a lady, and choose your points very carefully and leave it and let it all go. Why buy a company that you don't even want to own the company? Has he got more leverage than you? Is that better for you if he has? I don't know. I'm not sure. If you want Bitcoin pure play, own the Bitcoin. Also, by the way, you will not have their security risk, their controlled opposition risk, where suddenly, oh, we have to forfeit it all, we fell foul of XYZ. The whole not your coins, not your wallet, not your code, that sort of stuff. So that's a big attack vector. Litecoin could do a 20x or so. So we will be talking about Litecoin. But can you see the difference? Litecoin in orange here clearly had a far better 64K Bitcoin run, 69K Bitcoin than Cash, who was starting to feel being the second-rate Bitcoin wasn't working for it. So it's been hyper undervalued. And now suddenly people are starting to see it. And remember, these people are new. if you are one of these guys, screw Roger, or there's only one Bitcoin and it's the one that didn't fork, etc., and you're like that, it doesn't matter what you think. And even if you're the other way around and you think Bitcoin Cash is the real original, it doesn't truly matter what you think either. What matters is where's the big money going. And right now, it's quite clear that by having got super cheap and being almost alienated, forgotten about, and now tacitly being one of those guaranteed approval by the SEC because Bitcoin is confirmed not a security, is actually a very cheap entry for a proxy to Bitcoin at the moment. And that has seen it go up, and now you're going to start to have people say, well, is it much less of a coin than Litecoin? Why is its market cap lagging Litecoin when before it was ahead? So that was a couple of yesterday's charts and thoughts for you. Shall we pivot? This is the move so far, by the way. What about if we have a look at BCH versus BTC? You can see that this has obviously been a bad hold recently until now. Now, this has happened before, only to continue down, and there will be many among you that will say, I don't see it as being too different this time. However, you've got to remember, it is still source Bitcoin. So there was there a descending triangle. That was a terrible period. Down, you rally, you kiss, and down, down, down. Flagging, 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 down. But now you have real volume. This could point to a turn. You did have real volume here, but that looked more like a return move to this descending triangle. So what are we looking at here? Just so that everyone understands the chart, we are looking at Bitcoin Cash as compared to Bitcoin. And it has shed value. It was 28%. Even at a peak, it might have been a little closer, 44%. And it fell all the way to a fraction of 0.003. So let's be clear, the long-term hodlers of Bitcoin Cash, we've never been fans of long-term hodling. I got out of my pulse chain rather well with a great return, and I've been putting it now in these tokens, combination of XRP as well, it must be said, our 60 bagger, and also these tokens. And we had Ethereum, we had Bitcoin, and we had Litecoin with leverage trades on, and they've done very, very well. At the same time, the new pulse chain and all of that, probably battling for a while until it proves its reason. So at the same time, you've got to be positioned. So let's get to this point. Guys, you probably got your last relative freedom bull market here. The next time, if we're to have a bull market in crypto, I expect it's all going to be sewn up by the control structure. And you will be extracted out of your nose because you haven't gone and got structures, because you haven't left your country. You're sitting somewhere in the West where you were born, which has the same passport, the same name. You've been sitting on your ass and scratching your rectal area and not thinking too much about doing too much. And for those reasons, your chief extractor is going to come and he's going to bang you really hard because you've been a lazy MO. But you could, of course, do something for yourself. But before that, many people want to make wealth. Well, you almost have to get the structure right before you start making wealth. You can't come with a tax problem in a year and a half's time after we've 60x'd you and kept you in the core themes as they roll, each domino in each of the all ones by being in our community, and then say, I've got this massive tax problem. By the way, community link below in the description, first link, book a call, show up. If you book 3 times and don't show up after 3 times and not getting the time, you will never be able to speak to us and we will block you, okay? We have real people that actually show up and intend to listen to you, all right? So you can get one excuse for getting the time zones wrong. By the time you've got it wrong 3 in a row, we ain't ever listening to you again. Okay, so with that point made, book a call. We intend to help people maximize this rolling Bitcoin crypto mega bull market, and it will have themes and it'll have variations, and you can get chunky, meaty bits out of many of the rolling stages of this bull market so that you make the most. Rather than hodling your favorite token, watch everything else run around you and eventually getting a very short, quick, round trip and back to zero or back to low levels. The number of people that have round-tripped wealth and taken nothing off the table or very little off the table is vast. The key difference to this experience that you will have with us is that you will get to keep your money, a large portion. That doesn't mean you sell the absolute high on everything and you're absolutely killed it to the T. What it does mean is you're going to hold most of your profits. You're going to come out significantly better. It's happening now. And if that isn't worth the entry fee, then I'm afraid you deserve to be round-tripped. You deserve to have the roller coaster journey that the casino offers you. And in fact, many people come out worse off sometimes because they grab leverage when it's high conviction and all in the news, which is usually the worst time, and they give everything back on nothing more than a 10% down move. You need to be bullish now and aggressive now and backing off when all the clowns are showing up. That's the key fact, and you have to have money management, and you should never use more than 3x, and you've got to have stops if you do. Okay, so we're giving you a couple of lessons. So that's Bitcoin Cash against Bitcoin. It could be the start of something, but we have seen some of that before. However, it is deeply undervalued overall, and this is how it's looking on its technical chart. What about Litecoin? Well, I want to show you a couple of charts. Our community and I have been watching it for actually probably 6 weeks, a month and a half odd, because it was setting up structures for us. So let's just show you the Litecoin charts. I've taken some fixed pickies here. This is our fella, and this is what it's been doing. And in actual fact, we were getting ready for this to run a little earlier. We were over here. Are you going to go up or down? We got a little concerned with this hard sell and this quiet period there. We said, possibility it's going to make a new low and extend. So we've been stalking him because he had positive structure setting up, but he was also messing around a little bit. Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Bang, he gets sold off. That becomes our new 2. We remove that. Boom, bosh. Big bloated second to the low, a third here, and then you go long. And this was a triggering event on an upside HVF, and now you're getting a target of $142 out of us, $142 as part and parcel of its next run. And it is the first setup in a new trend which could see it overperform. So you would take part of your money off the table and leave some on, and you would just have more collateral, more margin, more safety, more security, bank profit, roll it into some growing, organic, stable tokens, not the shit coins, but the likes of Ethereum, the likes of potentially XRP for later, which is still coming, and all those elements. So that is Litecoin. 142 is our opinion, and then more to follow, but some reaction. Now, if you were smart, you could have potentially gone and learnt the skills that we offer you in the program, and we are talking about regularly. Be part of a community that was watching it. One of our guys was talking about the structure. So I'm going to take you into these 2 pink boxes. You see these pink boxes over here? I'm going to take you in there and there because you're getting to the business end. And as we showed you on Bitcoin, we bought at 19.9, we bought at 24.9, and those were relative lows on a right shoulder and on a below 25K that then pumped straight away to 31. And those were very good entries. You see, entries matter. Entries truly matter, particularly if you have a teeny bit of leverage. They certainly matter, but they matter anyway, even if you just do investments. And we did the same thing with Ethereum because there were also reversals. So we're going to show you how you could have done that with Litecoin. So we're going into point number 4, inflection point floor. That is it on a lower time frame. So you've gone from the daily to the 4-hourly. Can you see the inverted head and shoulder? No, because you didn't drop and you didn't know Litecoin was important. There's thousands of tokens for you to watch. How do you know which is important? Well, we cull everything out of the top 30 because it lacks liquidity. And we're not pump and dump kings. We're not trying to dump some shitcoin holding on other people. We're not in that game. So we want liquidity. We want its availability on exchanges, not just for me, but for everybody who's in my community that's in different countries can only open certain exchanges. So that's one. Eliminate the rot and the rubbish. If they're that good, they'll get into the top 25. Simple as that. even the top 15. You don't have to be right there. Everybody is a penny stock king, okay? So here we go. Then you get this beautiful inverted head and shoulder, squeezy, squeezy Japanesey. Look at that over there. I mean, it's absolutely, I'll go in black. There's your left shoulder, boom, squeezy, spill. That's your 4 low, drifting up, low volatility, nice and keen and easy. Kiss the neckline, yes sirree. That head is now in, that's the head. And then a nice falling wedge and bump triggering event. Target made on a short term, but we are trading inside a much bigger structure. So we just want to break and enter. We don't want to get out on small time frame targets. We want to hold for the main event. You had a real opportunity to be in at 78 on Litecoin. What's it right now? 109, 108, 110, 106, 105. It'll all change, but they're around. Then you went up, made a little bit higher, came down, sitting heavy here, a little bit of a descending triangle. Looks like it needs a final. We call it the third low, aka inflection point number 6. Down she comes. Let's go and have a look at that little pink box. On a smaller time frame, we're leaving the 4 hour, we're going to the next one. This is what was detailed, as I say. Community members were watching this. Trade leader, community member who does webinars and updates, has the skill sets that we've transported to him and helped him and implemented with him through regular daily updates in the markets, in the key markets that are about to move. We're talking less about gold while it's dull. We're talking more about crypto while it's hot. You need to be where the action is to build wealth, guys. You need to be where the action is to build wealth. I am agnostic. I love no one. I am of them all without being any of them. So here we go, 30-minute time frame. Boom. Oh my goodness. There you have the exact same thing happening again. Can you believe it? There's only a certain number of ways that price behavior reverses, believe it or not. And we teach you all the key ways that it reverses so you can spot it before it's even finished happening. And that allows you to buy some more on the inverted head and shoulder trigger at 85, 78, 85. So you could have had entries at 78 and 85. And then the main pattern, the daily pattern, with its funnel, gets triggered by all the others. You don't close at target. Of course not. This is breaking an entry into a much bigger story. So we are utilizing the compounding effect of smaller time frames to get tight stop losses. Stop loss over there, beautiful people. Do you understand? This is real methodology that none of the other channels will teach you. Multiply your way to wealth in this crypto cycle, or give it all back and get taxed to oblivion. You need structures, you need method. If you don't get that, you are stupid. I am here to tell you, you are stupid. If you don't get or understand what I'm saying to you, you get a stop there that is at $84, and you get an entry that's at 85. How many people gave you a $1 entry, or could have given you a $1 entry and shared that with you all the way up to where we are now? And is it done? No, we're holding for 141. And we have leverage. And we have leverage with stops and targets, because you've got to have a level where you accept you're wrong, and you've got to have a level where you reduce. You don't just run away train leverage, ever faster, ever faster. It's like riding a motorbike in sand. The cure for the sand is more power. And as you go more power, you go more fast. And it starts getting weavy again. More power, more power. No, you need to bring it down. You need to bring it back down. You've got to have key moments where you bring it back. If you understand this principally, and you have not yet clicked the link below and booked a call, and you haven't wasted the time of our people that set aside time for you 3 times, you are welcome to do so. And you have a better chance of maximizing this by a substantial multiplier degree, and also to hold that key wealth. Also, you will have services that will see you don't get extracted on. Who gets this? I've now shown you across a multitude of time frames on Litecoin where I think it's going. $142 before it starts to get a bit swingy and choppy. Lock some profit in on a daily setup. And the reasons we were watching it without even knowing why. I didn't even think about this SEC thing, if I'm honest. I don't spend too much time about narratives. You see, bedtime stories are for little people. They're for the children. I trade the chart, and then I get the story afterwards. It's kind of fun. It's a bit like reading the newspaper and finding out what you already knew, but you didn't have the detail on. So that is the key thing. We have been stalking Litecoin for a period already that runs into months. Why? Because it was interesting to us. Is it our 60x? No. Could it do very well? Yes. And while people are concerned with the aspects of regulation, these are the tokens that have been given the clear. Guess what? They go up more. Not because of you or I, because of the city institutional people that don't carry any of the baggage of whether Roger Ver's a nice guy or Bitcoin Jesus or whatever. They're not interested in personalities. They're not interested. They are rationale based. They see an undervalued token that had seeding in the Bitcoin origin era and they buy. That's what they do, like it or not. And you can decide if you want to make money or you want to vote like Celebrity Big Brother for the nicest guy. Who's the nicest guy? Who's the most honest fella? Who would you most like to have a beer with? You should want to have a beer with me and make money. That's what you should want. That's the story. Come on now. Where are we? Anyway, let's have a look at these comments. Here, XLM is big in Middle East. I think XLM will get a central bank digital token in the Middle East, especially as one or two will probably commit to XRP and the others to be. If you say Superman, I say Batman. If you say Man United, I say Liverpool. If you say Ireland for the Rugby World Cup, I say South Africa. That is how it works, and they will say something to the opposite. So yes, I do think so. Tim, that's Tim Brown. No one can give entry like the sniper. You got to slip it in with that entry. They got to be purring when you do them right. That's right, my friend. That is Harshad Mainkar with a smiley face. He likes a good entry. I do too, my man. I do. Ooh, confessions of. Highly recommended premium community. Well worth it. Oh, that's nice. I must read that one out. Elwood Blues, thank you so much. A community member giving us a shout out in the comments. We appreciate it. Sniper is amazing. Wish I had enough profits to invest in the community. There are payment options and self-studies that will get you started. And you will get to attend our live trading days and a Sunday session. You can start. You can achieve. It's not a millionaires only. There is steps for you. You can even just come and do a trading day. Exactly. TA is primarily data. News comes afterwards. That's right. That's Unrequired Sogol. You guys with your names. You got me guessing here, man. You're provoking my autism. But yes, good point. No Way has just referenced LFC. LFC. I'm a LFC through and through, Jay. But I'm disgusted they're not spending on the club at the moment. I think we need more. Anyway. Does anyone know the 60x token, please? Guess what, Peter? Don't beg for things that you don't know. Understand. Seek understanding. Seek realization. And even if you were given it, you'd probably cock it up. You've got to be early. You've got to be on time. You've got to have stops. You've got to know how to do it. It doesn't matter. I can give you the master surgeon's special tools. I can give you the best chef's sharpest knives, and you'll end up slitting your wrists with him. The key thing is, grow. Build information and grow. Simple hodling is dangerous. You'll get round-tripped. Ask the Hex guys. They were round-tripped. They never got out at 51 cents. They didn't get out at 38 cents. And now they sit with Ethereum at 0.008 cents. And I think the other one's at about 1 cent. They're sitting on around somewhere around 2.5 cents. Hey, love the guys. Not an attack. Richard's done awesome things. Don't puke, don't die. All good. But things go up and things go down. And that's why you don't do a hodl. You don't do a straight out permanent lifetime hodl. You get taken for a journey. That's all that happens. Up and down. And it ends depressingly. That's the problem. It ends depressingly. Glad I joined the Sniper team. I've learned so much. That's Michael Lefers. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate you coming on and saying that. It's not required and it's awesome. Hello, Francis, says Matt Falco. RK says, buy Judas coin, BCH lol. Okay, buy Judas coin. It sounds trustworthy. Okay, 13 pieces, or was it 33 pieces of silver? Who knows with those Kabbalists? Don't look for fish, learn how to catch it. Exactly, Harshad, exactly. Ouch, says Sweeping LNH. Ribizoki, man, Francis, I was the first who saw that structure on Litecoin and BCH. You could have been. Did you make the money? The key thing is not what you see and what you say and what you call. If you believe in it, you're in it. If you make the money, you're a winner. Not if you were first, but didn't trust yourself. Didn't have the confidence, didn't have the structure, didn't have a community behind you, didn't have the method, didn't have lots of support around it, all saying, be fine, stay calm. You're oversized if you're too anxious. It's the help. It's the fact that you get the outcome. It's the outcome that matters. The outcome is I made money in a responsible manner that even if I'd been wrong, I wouldn't have lost my shirt. That's it. I'm not losing my shirt. I got a nice shirt. Compliments for the shirt? Any shirt? Anyone like the colors? What do you say? Been going to gym? What do you say? Huh? You want to be healthy, fit, and wise, and wealthy after this crypto boom? Get yourself in shape. Get your head right. Understand you've got to have skills. Understand you've got to have method. Understand you've got to have structures. And build generational wealth for your children and everybody else. And put it into physical things when they come and throw the digitalization prison over you. Okay. Yes, XRP is not the 60X. It's a 30 plus. Apple stock is mooning, says somebody. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so that is what we're doing, guys. That is a little update on why we see the structures of interest. Let's have a check-in on where Litecoin is for you. And we will also have a wee look at Ethereum. I think Ethereum could start to stir. Look, it never got super undersold like Bitcoin Cash. But I think it could stir reasonably well over the week. So let's just analyze Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's been a tiny bit skittish. So the dominance has dropped. Dominance has dropped a little bit. Getting into heavier weather, let's just turn that down. A little bit of resistance there. Why? Because we've got some mooners. We've got some mooners. 111%, I think it was, in the 7 days yesterday. Now it's 82% because obviously the days are rolling for Bitcoin Cash. That starts to be significant. You're getting some growth on the alts, and you could find Bitcoin comes back down to test the 50% mark and maybe run it a little bit. So the others are doing this, but this has been a far more meaningful move for Bitcoin. And I'm not saying you should all now rotate out of Bitcoin. I have a leveraged Bitcoin holding, and it's also just a bit more stable. How's it doing against tech? How's it doing against tech? Well, it slowed a tiny bit. It slowed a tiny bit. We can show you that. It slowed a tiny bit, but it did its return move on the falling wedge and had a bit of a bump. Let's get to Ethereum, though, because Ethereum, I think, is looking tiny bit more positive. This is an absolute mess of lines. But I actually see this as pretty positive for Ethereum. Many might be tempted to call a rising wedge. I'm going to take you into the daily here. There is so many lines, but you won't understand them. But that is a breakout. So the key lines I would want you to focus on is that. That was a breakout and a return move. Pop! You see the selling, the wicks, the tall wicks, the tall wicks, the tall wicks. That gives you your pullback to your capping descending grind line that you'll learn about and watch us implement in all our analysis of charts as I give updates, not only video updates with my face and the charts explaining why and how, but also voice updates, often sometimes even on the weekend if it's getting interesting on the weekend, chart shares, etc. All of that, never mind the recorded materials that'll bring you up to speed. So this looks like a resumption of the upside, and that's on the daily time frame. So that's not a bad place potentially. I don't think it's as yet it's about to do a screaming moon. I just think it's solid and going to keep going up. And now on the 4 hourly, if we have a look at this, you've got another flag that has also just been broken. Did it get a little bit volatile when it broke? Yes, it did. It's flapping about like a duck over there with babies. It's just looking a little bit volatile, but it has actually triggered, again, another flag. So it broke back in, met our midpoint of our flag, and now it's back out. So for me, overall, you're getting flag targets on a number of time frames. The 4 hour, the 30-minute, the daily. So you're squeezing higher for us on Ethereum, and you're getting higher on pretty decent volume. Of course, I think overall, those SEC cleared tokens seem to be doing quite well, and they are not being harangued by legal lawsuits, not being distracted, and continuing to work on your future property register where all your assets will be registered. The one thing, I really need to say this, because I've been covering this in the reset sniper stuff that we do on Odyssey, by the way, where I can speak more freely. The one thing I can tell you, when I listen to Fink of BlackRock, he is not selecting a specific token. He's talking about the blockchain as being positive. So he talks differently to JP Morgan's Dimon, who's still somewhat dismissive. He says the tokenization of everything is coming, and he doesn't reference tokens like they're the thing. He says blockchain and decentralized, and then he keeps saying with identified beneficial owners. With identified beneficial owners. So what is actually coming is your property, your car, your assets, all will be registered with NFTs, tokens, and everything as being yours and on the blockchain. They will know all that you own because Fink wants identified, cleared, KYC, known people behind every owned item. And that, when I listen to him, is the key tell. They want a clipboard with all you own. And let me tell you, the first thing when they come to confiscate your gold that they will do is first get a clipboard and say, no, this is just information collecting. Tell us what you've got. This is just for the record. And you brag away about how many gold bars you've got. And then they go away and say, thank you, we'll update our records. And then later, oh, by the way, you told us you had this. We've now implemented this tax. That means you must pay this, etc., etc., or else forfeit, or else sell off to meet your tax requirements, given that it's gone up. The poor, the white privilege that you have, the male privilege that you have, the alive privilege that you have, the health you-know-whatted privilege that you have. You have some kind of privilege, I'm damned, I'll find something. And so it may well go. And that's the big tell for me in terms of crypto. Be warned. Fink wants to know every beneficial owner, and they will buy a token, force you out of your own home, and be the new owner. The token will then have the power. This is the establishment of a derived market over a physical item. That's their speciality, you see. That's what they did to gold. That's what they did to silver. That's what they do in all these commodity exchanges. Underlying physical, but no, we create a derivative, something that represents, that can be pushed around by bid and ask using the same skill sets that we have in our dark pools, in our special places, such as Citadel, and such as, you didn't go through an exchange, 95% was decided by us and a committee of bankers that all looking after each other. Isn't that interesting? You want that derived market? It's coming whether you want it or not, and it's dangerous. This is the bull market. You retire out, otherwise you are done. Hear me now. This is the bull market crypto that you maximize and retire out on, that everything else is play and fun and games for you, or you are done. And we are specializing on maximizing your wealth in reset times through trading the crypto markets and many others, and protecting you with structures. Use their weapons against you. Okay, guys, this has been a lengthy stream. I hope you've enjoyed it. Ethereum looking pretty good, but volatile to rush in now. Remember, just because I say looking good doesn't mean that's the entry point at this very moment. Typically, you could get a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a calming. You also have to keep an eye on dollar. What's it been doing? Been pretty benign and dull. The FX market's not too interesting, apart from, of course, the Japanese yen falling through the floor against most other currencies, which, of course, we call, and if you subscribe to the Market Sniper channel, you can find all about that. You should, in fact, if you have fiat, ideally have Swiss francs. So you will learn a whole bunch other useful things as crypto fans to build your wealth and hang on to it in what is coming. Okay, final questions, final goodbyes. I am too late to trading. You're never too late. This is the thing, this hopeless nihilist. Oh, I'm done. They've got me. It's too late to do anything. My friend, I'm looking in this one example on Litecoin, and I'm seeing how I should have maximized it infinitely more and could have done even better and have made 3 years of wages on that. In a single opportunity, this bull market is going to bring you hundreds, not double digits, hundreds of opportunities where we drill down. We miss more than we get. We miss a lot more than we get, and still, world champion of the lovely entry. Do the figure of 8 with your hips like this with me. The lovely entry. Oh yeah, feeling it. You're talking to the lovely entry king with HVF method. We can do it. You can do it. There's always more time. There's always more chance. There's plenty of hope. You've got to be listen, I can't control the macro game of what these other clowns are doing. They've been doing this for multi-generational. But you can have an incredible life inside of the slavery matrix that they may be building by being smarter, wiser, wealthier, healthier, and better protected. Simple fact. Simple fact. Taking action is mental health. We are the place and we are the people, a community of like-minded that are loving life and making the most of it. So on that beautiful note, I salute you all. I say thank you for coming on board. Give us a smash a like, hit the like, watch these cleared tokens. You too could, on lower time frames, break an entry if you understand the methodology or be in a community with multiple eyes across multiple time frames, all with a high level of similar skill sets that we have prioritized. We do one thing very well. We are not generalists. Okay, till next time, I'll catch you later. Link is below. Book a call. The weekend is now open. Do not let people down if you choose to do it. Catch you next time. Bye.